Very, very flamboyantly introduced, and I look forward to learning from you guys today through your questions. And I really look forward to, solving any issues anyone might have regarding mastering office politics and anything regarding career advancement. So let's just get right into it. Um, okay, so office politics. I know a lot of us would have heard this one way or the other. What is office politics? Why is it important? Some people be like, no, I don't want to play office politics. I used to be like that, but I would show you today why you should play office politics, why you should understand what it means, what office politics means, and how you can navigate the twists and the turns for your own career advancement. This is really, really important in life. I learned it a little bit late. Well, not too late, to be honest, but I learned it quite after some years into my career, and I wish I learned it earlier. And I'm going to share some of my secrets and some of my stories with you, both positive and negative stories, so that you can learn and see that this thing is real. We're not just joking here. All right, so I'm going to start with a story because, as you heard in my profile, I like telling stories a lot. So there's someone I know for 2 decades, so about 20 years. This person has worked in a corporate nonprofit, and corporate nonprofit, public sector, just the person's career has been around this. And throughout these years, they didn't want to involve in anything called office politics. In short, to this person, it was a badge of honor. Like, I just want to do my work. I'm a professional. How many people have said that to themselves? I'm a professional. I don't really care about the politics. I just want to get to do what I want to do. So, and that's what this person did. And that's how this person approached their work for such a long time. So to anyone who would listen and perhaps even a few who wouldn't, they will say, and I've heard this person say to me, I really don't have the stomach for all of that stuff. Politics is dreadful, is dangerous, and unnecessary. I'm simply too straightforward for all the subterfuge they require. I just want to do my work. I don't want to play games. Anyways, with this approach, this person had the shock of their life when several years into their career, they were laid off. Laid off, yes, they were laid off. It wasn't because they were performing poorly or failing to meet goals. It was because they had neglected to form relationships with people who had the power to advocate for their job. Sadly, this is a true story, and it's a really true story, and it was a sad one at the time when this person lost their job. And for me, this is one story I will never forget in the course of my career that I heard, and made me to really start to think as to why do we need to play office politics? What is even office politics? And that's why we're here today. I'm starting my session to talk about that a little bit so that we can understand how important this is. This is really, really, really important. So what is office politics? If you can put in the comment section for me what you understand by office politics. I really want to hear you guys. What do you understand by office politics? How can you define it in a sentence, in a phrase? It's going to be a very engaging class. So please, you don't have to unmute, but you can just write it. What is it? What is, in your opinion, what is office politics? What does it mean? Anyone? I just need 1 or 2 responses and then I would move on very quickly. What is office politics in your opinion? Anyone? It's actually complicated. Yes, it is complicated, but what do you, well, it is actually complicated. So that one I would take it. Anyone else that would like to explain or expand to us what office politics is in from their own perspective? Okay, let me just move on very, very quickly. So office politics, it refers to the informal, often behind the scenes interactions, the power dynamics, the relationships between people in the workplace that influence decisions, promotions, collaborations. I'm sure people will be like, why is office politics influencing decisions, promotions, collaborations, even opportunities? Believe me, it does. There are unwritten rules of power, influence, and relationships at work. That is office politics. Yes, I'm in HR. Um, I'm currently the head of people and culture where I work. So yes, we try to ensure that when it comes to people's career, it's very transparent. You know, performance appraisal, performance review, check-in sessions. You know, all of those words that you hear in the office. Yes, it's true. It's true. We are not lying. It's true. However, there are powers behind powers. There are relationships that govern the way things work. And it's not just in the office, it's everywhere in life. Even in your family, there's that one person, that one auntie, or that one uncle that when they come for family meeting, they have to wait for them before they start the meeting. They may not be the richest, they might be the richest, you don't know. But they have a certain charisma. They have a certain power that they they have to be listened to, or they're able to influence people around them, either positively or negatively. So you have that one auntie that, you know,
Jerry, how are you?
can you hear me?
Hey, Jerry.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
No, I understand.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I think someone's okay, it's possible that someone is just speaking. Okay, thank you. All right, so we have that auntie or that uncle that always they are the ones in charge of the family. They might not even be the firstborn. This person can be the last born, or maybe the cousin of cousins, you know, someone very far away, but they wield power, man. If you want something done, they are the ones you go talk to. That eh, knowing who that person is office politics. Knowing how to navigate and use this person for your advantage is politics. So that's family politics, right? Now bring it to the office. We have so many types of people, so many types of power dynamics. There's the CEO, the COO, there are the senior management, there's the executive management, there's the general management, there's the line managers, then your peers, then your subordinates. Like there's so many power dynamics going on. You would be very foolish to think that it's only your performance appraisal that will determine your advancement in a particular office. I would boldly say that you'll be very foolish to say that. You have to navigate this terms. So, office politics is the unwritten rules of power, the unwritten rules of influence and relationships at work. And I will be teaching you about identifying the different types of people at work and how you should deal with them, whether as a boss, as a peer, or as a subordinate. We'll get to that very quickly. So office politics can show up as building alliances or networks across departments, lobbying for support on a project. This one I've done this lobbying before, and it works. If there's a project, a cross-functional project, I learned how to do that some years ago. And I really want to be there because I know it's going to help my career, it's going to help me. I will start looking for who's going to be in charge of this project. What's the project about? I'll start to do my reading. When meetings are being held, I'll make sure that I'm ready for that meeting. I provide great responses. You know, if I'm interested in something, I go all out. And so when it's time to put together a team, my name will always be there. Because again, I'd identified it when they started to talk about it that this is going to be important. And I went for it. So that is office politics. Influencing key decision makers, withholding or sharing information strategically, competing for recognition or resources. This happens a lot. Navigating power structures or personality dynamics. This is all office politics, and that's what it looks like. So why does it matter? Why is it important? Number one, it is always present. You can't run away from it. You can't form, oh, I'm professional. I've been doing this for 55 years. Everybody knows I'm good at my job. Okay, well done. The people that are not as good as you will come, meet you where you are, and leave you there. And you still be like, oh, I'm the best person after I gave you bread. No, you have to learn to navigate these things. It is always present. You can't run away from it. It affects the way you are perceived. It affects the way people see you. It even affects the way you see others as well. So whether you like it or not, office politics exists in every organization, big or small. Ignoring it will not make it disappear. Let me just shatter that table now. Ignoring office politics will not make it disappear. It affects your growth, promotions. I've mentioned that, even opportunities that come your way, because as a professional in human resources, I have so much information. I get to be in rooms where we talk about people who are not in that room. And what my ears have heard in this life. God, sometimes I will be pinching myself like, what? So some people can determine someone's destiny, and this person is blissfully watching Netflix somewhere in their office or on their desk, thinking nobody is seeing them, while everybody knows that they're watching Netflix. And their destiny, their career advancement is being determined, and they're not even there, and there's no one to speak for them. They can't even speak for themselves. Where you're discussing people that you're just hearing, they said. You're not even calling the person to say, what did you do? They won't even give you the opportunity. Decisions will be made. All you will get is a letter from HR. You will not look at your HR person as the devil or assistant devil. Of course, devil is like the major one. Then your HR person now like the assistant, and you're like, hey, how come they're sacking me? Why am I on suspension? Or why don't they like me? Why did they remove me from that team? You don't know the conversations that have gone out, that happened when you were not there, based on power dynamics, perception, how you're seeing. Those things matter. So it affects a lot of things. It affects the kind of opportunities they give you. You want to send people for training. You might think that they should just be able to know the kind of people they should send for training. No. You want to send people for training, or like, who can go and represent us at Dubai? And they look round and they'll be like, no, that girl dresses well. She'll be a good, for social media. It will be good for her to be there. And just like that, this person is going to Dubai. And you're here slaving. But you're like, no, I'm so focused on my work. I don't really need to dress well. I'm so focused on my work. I don't need to smell well. Don't worry, I'm going to get to all of that. I'm so focused on my work. My shoes does not need to be great. And you'll be overlooked for opportunities. That is office politics. So it matters. It is always there. It affects opportunities. Now, why also does it matter? It builds emotional intelligence. It grows you. When you're able to navigate twists and turns of human beings. And by the way, human beings are the most challenging resource you can ever deal with in your life. Human beings. When you're able to understand people and navigate these twists and turns, you increase your emotional quotient, and it grows you. Very critical. It influences organizational culture, it shapes workplace, it fosters collaboration if you're able to do it well. You're also able to go far in terms of maybe the projects you're handling, because you know your people and you're able to put them to good use. It helps you navigate conflicts. Excuse me. It helps you navigate conflict. Understanding people's motives, relationships helps you to resolve conflicts a bit more wisely. There's some people that you can't speak to them anyhow in public. There's some people they don't really care. You can speak to them whether in public or private, but there's a way you speak with them. Understanding all of these tiny little nuances, it matters. And when you're able to navigate it, you would grow. As I mentioned, it builds emotional intelligence. Avoiding politics will stall your career. I'm telling you, avoiding politics will definitely stall your career. You can't avoid it. Mastering it will lead to growth. Now, let me sound a note of warning. Office politics is not what we call kiss assing, because in the office you'll be like, oh, this person just likes to be nice, and they will greet all the leaders, they will greet all the managers. No, that's that's not even doing it well. That's not it. Um, that's not it, and I will explain a bit more. It's not being a people pleaser. I had that issue at once. Sometime in my career, I was a people pleaser, and I just wanted to please everyone around me, and it worked against me so badly. So is one of the. It was such an horrible situation at the time, and I had to stop it. Pleasing everyone it's a It's a big problem, and you shouldn't do it. And that's not playing office politics either. Playing office politics or understanding office politics is different from people pleasing. You don't please everybody. You have to be okay for people to not like you. You have to understand yourself, know your identity, understand the knowledge, the skills, the attributes, your charisma, the value you bring to an organization. Stand by it, bet on yourself, and be ready to stand tall anytime, but still understanding human interactions, navigating power dynamics in the office. But first, you don't have to please everybody, and not everybody needs to like you. If everybody likes you, there's a problem. There's some people that should be able to say, "Ah, that one, your own is too much," or you don't even do enough. It's fine, because again, it's from their perception. It doesn't mean you should not take feedback, but know that you can't please people. There's some people that will always be irritated by you. There's some people that will never like the way you're ambitious or whatnot. It's fine. But understand who you are and stand in your place. It's very critical for me to say that. It's not people pleasing at all. So don't mistake what I'm saying. Don't mix it up. It is not people pleasing. So it matters. And I hope I've been able to establish that very seriously. Now, moving on to the next thing I would like to talk about is understanding the types of people that we have in the office. There's been so many categorizations of people in the workplace, but I found this seven to be really, a bit generalistic and quick to understand. And it's important to know this so you know how to, you can identify your colleagues. And I'm sure that as I start to explain these things, you start to be like, oh, that is Tokwe, that is Shade, oh, that is Tolu. You'll be able to understand your colleagues, your line manager, where your line manager falls, where your subordinates fall, and you'll be able to be like, oh, this is why this person behaves like this. Okay, this is how I can navigate this person, or this is how I can work better with this person. At the end of the day, navigating office politics is really fostering collaboration in the workplace. Everybody has their good sides. Nobody is a bad person, so to say. I know some people are like downright evil. I do. I'm in HR. I've seen it. I've seen. I don't want to have seen it all, but I think I've kind of seen it all. But everybody has some strengths, some areas of improvement. I don't like to call them weaknesses. I call them areas of improvement. And some have, they're just blinded by some things, which is fine. But we can't discard everybody. Everybody has a certain strength. Even the person that is so problematic has a particular strength. You just need to really look at it and say, okay, if I capitalize on this thing, I can bring out the best in this person, or I can get this person to work better with me so that I can achieve my own goals. At the end of the day, you want to achieve your goals. All right. So moving on quickly to the types of colleagues or the types of people in the workplace. Number one is the bureaucrat. You see these people, they like to follow rules. Like strictly, they love to follow rules strictly. And HR people often fall into this this category. I'm an HR person, so let me hear about ourselves first. Often we fall into this category. They follow rules so strictly, and because of that, it might cause frustration on the part of people that work with them. And they're like, what kind of person is this one? They said, so for example, maybe this person, an HR person, you're supposed to give 2 weeks notice for your leave, and then you are maybe 2 days short or 3 days short, and they say, no, I'm not accepting your leave request. The employer handbook says, they know it, they will quote it 100%. Their motto emphasizes adherence to processes, even in personal situations. They don't even care how you're feeling. Their own is, this is what the rule says. This is what you must do. If you don't do it, I'm not your friend. Their slogan is, for example, I understand it's your sister's wedding, but we require that you should have submitted this leave request 20 days ago. However, you are just submitting it, and it's just barely, is it about 18 days? So I'm sorry. We are going to deny your request. They are those kind of people. Typically, you'll be frustrated with them. But when you know that this person is like this, then you try to work around that. Navigating how to deal with them is office politics. Identify people like this in your office and note it down. Oh, if it's this person, I have to send my email at this particular time. There's some people, they don't read emails after 3 o'clock. So if you send them an email at 4 o'clock, it's going to wait till the next day. You can't be upset because that's the way they are. Fighting it might not help you, especially if you are maybe their subordinate, you are in their team, you are not their superior. So you just have to play around with it. If you give them the feedback, they take it, good for you. If they don't take it, sorry. So you need to figure out who these people are and be able to work with them. Imagine you have a bureaucrat as a line manager. How would you deal with it? Someone that follows the rules so strictly and says, you are supposed to call your line manager if you are not coming to work or you are running late. But your boss broke down on Third Milan Bridge. There was no network. You couldn't call. How would you manage someone like that? And this person is your boss. You know that as soon as they get to the office, they will be like, where have you been? What happened? I'm going to give you query. People like that, just leave them because that's the way they are. And it will only take God to change them. They follow rules strictly. The second is the dictator. These ones, they delegate tasks. They are senior employees who delegate tasks, and they always be giving you work. And you wonder what they use their time to do. I'm sure some people have had line managers like this. They will be giving you tasks, and when everything goes well, they take the credit. But when it's wrong, they'll say, no, it's TJ that did it. I wasn't the one that did it. But if everything is fine, so yeah, I led the team to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They did not contribute one bit. You'll be the one to prepare the slides, they'll be the one to present it. And they will not even say, oh, this so person presented the slides. This is who they are. They take credit for successes. They shift blame for failures. They discourage feedback. Their slogan, let me give you an example, is I know you have a lot on your plate right now, but taking on this project will be good for your career and you upskill. So I need this done while I go for vacation. That's the kind of person the dictator is. They will delegate tasks, they will not contribute. So knowing them is good for you. Know them and be wise. Know how to deal with them. At some point, with dictators, you might need to stand up to them because they always believe you can't stand up to them. You might need to stand up to them a bit respectfully, but stand up to them. If it's you need to draw boundaries because they are those ones that can call you at 9 p.m. They are the people that can call you at 12 a.m. Those are the kind of people. You need to draw boundaries around them, but you need to be respectful before so that they don't, attribute maybe disrespect or being rude to your person. You need to figure out how that works. You might have a dictator as a colleague, as a peer, and you'll be like, are we not on the same level? Why are you giving me all this work and you are just chilling? You need to draw boundaries, but you first need to identify that, oh, this is what this person is doing. The third is the rebel. They undermine office hierarchies and value personal boundaries. They are, I've had to deal with some rebels in my career. They prioritize their time. When it's 5 o'clock, they will just carry their bag. It's 5 o'clock. I'm out, and they will not do anything. No matter, even if the CEO said you should get work done, they'll say, "I'm sorry, my contract says 5 o'clock, so I will see you guys tomorrow." Imagine being in a team with a rebel. How would you deal with it? So you can't come from the official point of view. You have to influence them a bit more. That means you have to maybe understand their strength, be a bit personal with them to say, babes, don't do this now. Imagine you come tomorrow now, they say that I'm going to the hospital because I broke down because of work. How would you feel? You have to maybe use some emotional manipulation, sort of. I don't want to use the word manipulation, but I don't know what word to use now to deal with people like that, because you see these guys, they're off and there's nothing you can do. And they are the ones that will talk back at people. Their mouth is very sharp, as they will say in this side of the world, very sharp mouth. However, when it's time to, sacrifice, go the extra mile, they are not willing to do it. If this kind of person is on your team, you've got to figure out how to deal with them. Navigating this is office politics. Now, the legislator, these ones create and enforce rules. So they are like the dictator, sorry, they are like the bureaucrats, but they are often senior. They are often senior. They create and enforce rules which can enhance efficiency but may lead to overcomplication and confusion in tasks due to excessive planning. They like to plan. They like to make sure that everything is fine. They will cross the T's and dot the I's. And if you are in a very urgent or emergency type situation or project with them, they will slow you down. They will always slow you down. So you need to figure out how to work with them. You need to figure out how to work with them. You need to create room or give them advance notice. If you know it's going to take them 5 days to come up with a project plan, you need to give them advance notice so that they don't slow you down, because they will take their time. They will take their time, and it might lead to overcomplication of stuff. But identifying it ahead will help you work with people like that. We have the monarch. They gain position through networking rather than merit. You see, these people, you would not like them. People don't usually like them because they are bright, they use their beauty, they use their communication skills, they network a lot. There are people like this, you take them for meetings, they will get like maybe 100 cards, and you've not even received one card, like one business card. They are going around talking to people, networking, and they have information. These people, they have information. They are like, they just glide through the public. They don't they are self-assured, and you feel like these people enjoy privileges. People just like them. They'll pick them and say, "Yeah, follow me for this meeting, follow me for that meeting." And you're like, this person does not even know the work. But because of their charisma, they network, they know people's strengths and weaknesses, and they go through it, twists and turns. They enjoy privileges and security in their roles, often at the expense of more qualified colleagues. And you can't take it away from them. This is who they are. They seem to be able to get away with things. There are people like this that they will do something wrong. You will think that the world will collapse. They'll just come out of HR's office smiling. Like, oh, they just said I should not do it again. They gave me a letter of warning. But if someone else does it, it's a big deal. It's a bigger deal. These are monarchs. They gain positions through networking rather than merit. Imagine having a colleague like that. How would you deal with it? Think about it a bit deeply. When you are able to identify, you are able to deal with it. Then we have the Kennedys. I don't know if you know about the Kennedys in America's politics. They are they are charismatic individuals, but they charm co-workers to help them do their work. The monarch and Kennedys are similar, but with the Kennedys, they don't even have technical skills. There are people that maybe they join the office through nepotism. Somebody knows somebody, and they join the office, which is fine. We can't stop it. They're already here. But they will now go the extra mile by charming co-workers, helping them to do their work, relying on their social skills to navigate the workplace. They are very charismatic. People like them a lot, but they usually lack technical skills. Those are the Kennedys. Knowing them would help you to deal with them. Very important. Their slogan is like, "Oh, I love your jacket. You look so great on you." They're always complimenting. "I'm sorry, I don't have my presentation done yet, but we can grab a drink after work." They're ready for drinks, but they will not get their work done. Those are the Kennedys. And last, the public servants. You see, these ones, they are the most commendable. They are passionate about their job. They always do what they're supposed to do. They will sit down after the office hours and do the work of everybody, but it's always at their own cost. I hope you are not a public servant. Public servants are everywhere. They will always want to get the work done. I used to be a public servant. Let me just confess. Sometimes I still feel like I'm a public servant, but I think I have some wisdom now to navigate and not take on work that is not mine, or work that other people should be able to do. It costs them dearly. It always costs them. They are the ones that will save everybody. They will use their personal funds to do office work. They are so passionate, and they are willing to lend an extra hand, even at the cost of their own work-life balance. They will always find themselves wondering, always going above and beyond, and they will almost burn out. Even when they are burning out, they will still be doing the work. They will still be doing the work. They will cover for people, and nobody will want to cover up for them. They will cover up for people, nobody wants to cover up for them, because they are not navigating it with wisdom. So those are the 7 types of colleagues that you have in a workplace. There's so many categories, as I mentioned, but knowing these nuances helps you deal with people. And I believe that as I was speaking, we were able to pick 1 or 2 people that resembles this and say, this person is like that. Oh, this is why this person behaves like that. So now that you know, how do you go about dealing with them? How do you go about engaging them to when they're on your team, engaging them, bringing out the best in them? This is really, really important. All right, we're going to move along a bit more faster now, and I will now be talking about the key players in office politics. There are four key players in office politics in terms of career advancement. You need to identify people like that. You need to have this sort of people in your corner to help you advance in your career. Um, the first are cheerleaders. These are people that always will advocate for you. You need to find them. You need to find people in your office that will always advocate for you. This should be, of course, people in senior positions and also your peers and even your subordinates as well. You should have one or two people that they would always advocate for you. If you're leading a team or you're part of a team, you're doing something great, they are coming to you in your DMs and saying, hey, Tolu, you're doing well, you're doing well. I saw your presentation on Mal, just smiling. And when you're presenting, they're the ones giving you the thumbs up, smiling, making you feel like you're making sense. You know, you need to have this kind of people. They can be your friends in the office, whatever, but you need to excuse me, you need to have those kind of people. They would always, always advocate for you. You need to have mentors who will guide you. Now, let me tell you guys a story. Um, okay, I was going to say it after, but I think I'll just say it now. So, when I was working at the international nonprofit, I used to liaise a lot with the board of directors, and we had an issue that we had a big challenge at the time. Anyways, and our board chairman at the time was not my greatest fan. He was just not my greatest fan. And he just dealt with me very professionally, a bit coldly. And when we had this issue, I was able to get it sorted. I was able to just really quickly get it sorted. And he was very surprised at the way everything was, he was like, wow, who did this? And they're like, oh, it's this person. And just because of that, this guy became my number one cheerleader. Even when even when I don't do stuff right, he will call me, he will just say, hey, TJ, don't mind them, don't worry, this is how we're going to do. We can have board meeting tomorrow. He will call me the day before the board meeting and say, hey, TJ, so let me see your presentation. I'll show you my presentation. They'll be like, no. See, you can't have this there. Change it there. Change this one. Yeah, add this one, add this one. Just because of that one thing I did to help him at the time, to help the company at the time, which helped him. Right. That's how people's position can just change. And then you have a cheerleader who is in a power position that can advocate for you. Right. Now, another story. Now, I had a critic in the office. Now, critics are those that will challenge and oppose you at every point. Like, they are so knowledgeable. They are listening to you to tell you the things that are wrong in what you're doing. Right. So I had a critic who was also in a powerful position. She was one of our leads at the time. We call them leads, so like directors. And this lady was doing her MBA in the US at the time. So she knew a lot about HR stuff. So when I would come to meetings and talk, she will just be like, no, that is not global practice. That is not global practice. That is not global practice. TJ, what you're saying is like 1952. It's old. And she was giving me issues. I didn't like her at all. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this person? And I would just be so confused as to what am I. Every time I'm coming to the office, my head is just like, God, I'm going to the office again. When it's time for me to present, I'll be like, this person is going to deal with my destiny. I just didn't like her. Nobody really liked her because she was a critic. So I listened to a podcast, and that podcast talked about critics. And I said, okay, I would actually take this thing. I'll take it to heart. So the next day, I sent her, as she was, and when she's working, she doesn't greet people. So when she was working, I just followed her. I followed her to her office. She was like, yes. She won't even say hello. She was like, yes, can I help you? I was like, hey, so and so person, I would like to have a meeting with you. And she said, for what? Don't you have a line manager? I said, yes, I do. but I still want to have a meeting with you. She's like, look into my calendar, book a time. I said, okay. I went to my desk, I booked the time. I appeared at that meeting. It was physical. I came to to our office with my notes, my biro, and my laptop. I went there. I sat down. She said, how can I help you? And then I said, I'm working on this project. I'm about to submit it to my line manager, but I feel it's missing something. I want you to please help me review it and, just help me. And I genuinely needed her help because I know she's knowledgeable. But I had to go past behavioral attitude, and I went to her. So I opened my laptop. I told her that she have some time now. She said, she can spare me some time. So I opened my laptop. I showed her the project and she was like, no, you can't do this. Where do you get these things from? She was so harsh. I was listening to her. She said, okay. She sent me like 5 articles. Go and read these articles and come back to me. I went back. I read the articles. I sent her a message. When am I supposed to come back, ma? She said, I said, just tell me a time. I'll be ready. I went. I read the article. I took my notes. I was just doing everything she said. I came back to her. She was like, no, 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 go back. She stressed me. We went back and forth maybe 5 times. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Anyways, I worked on that project with her secretly. All this is secretly. And then I submitted it to my line manager. My line manager presented it to the executive team. I happened to be in the meeting. Now, when my line manager was presenting it, they were asking her questions. She could not answer it because, of course, I was one that presented the work. I was one that did the work. So I had to speak. And then people started to say, no, we can't do it that way. You can't do it that way. That cannot work. This cannot work. So my critic was in the meeting. She sat down and she was looking at them. She allowed everybody to speak. Everybody finished speaking. When she stood up, she silenced everybody. She was giving them points as to why what was on the presentation worked. Even my line manager opened her mouth, could not close it. She was like, this person is supporting our team today. Now, the wisdom is that people that are critics, that are in senior positions, or they're very knowledgeable, they have ego. You have to play that ego to your advantage. When you are able to get their buy-in in a project or in something you're doing, if anybody criticizes it, it's like they're criticizing them. And so they will stand up for themselves. In other words, they are standing up for you. And that's how they become even cheerleaders, not cheerleaders, but they become like a mentor guiding you. And you are able to advance. So when you see that person in the office who is so good at what they do, they're fantastic, they're knowledgeable, they're the ones with the MBAs from Harvard, Yale, but they have horrible people skills. Don't join people to gossip about them. Don't join people to hate them, because believe me, your career advancement might just be in their hand. It's not in all cases. This worked for me, and I'm sharing my own personal story. It might just be in their hands if you're able to overlook their personal issues. And the best way to get their own buy-in is for you to also be intellectual. Is for you to know your onions, because they will not deal with someone that is not technically sound. So you also need to be sound enough. Be ready to burn the midnight oil. Be ready to know your stuff and say, you know what, I want you to guide me in this thing. I want you to help me I want to be better. And they will help you. They are willing to help. It's just that they don't have time for people that are not serious. And that is navigating office politics. Until I left that office, or who left first? I think she left first. Till she left the office, she was my number one mentor. She would criticize my work. She would provide constructive feedback for me and shape and mold a lot of things for me. And that relationship still exists. They will guide you, but you have to be willing to do the work. And you need to have someone like that, someone that has a seat at the table, that can speak for you, but also your mentor. You can, it depends on the office situation. It can be someone that everybody knows that you guys are mentor mentee relationship, and people, some people don't even need to know because they don't even like to fraternize with people. So like this person does not talk to people. Like when she's talking, when she's working in the office and people say good morning, so good morning, she does not even answer. She just nod and say people like, oh, she does not even answer people, she's so proud. Okay, but that helped me. So those mentors are needed. You also need critics. You need people that challenge and oppose you. Another story I would like to share, as an HR person, we always have all this. We want to do stuff, and we are doing this cultural framework. You're doing stuff. You're just, having initiatives. You want to maybe do staff engagement day, stuff like that. I learned early to get the buying of my critics because you see, these critics, people respect them and they influence people a lot. If you're able to get the buying of, if you can identify your critics, identify them one, two, three, four, five. Not be their friend. You don't have to be their friend. They don't even want you to be their friend because all they want to do is criticize. That's who they are. But be able to get their buying on some projects. You see how fast you will go in achieving or implementing your project or implementing your initiatives. You don't you don't close your eyes at critics. You embrace their criticism. Take the one that is yours, leave the other ones that you feel you don't need to, but take their feedback because they will help you grow. Now, the neutrals are those that are silent. They are neither here or there. Identify them as neutrals and deal with them that way. They can either be your colleagues, your subordinates, even your, they are not people that you look up to and say, ah, this person is going to save me when I'm not in the room. No, they are just those ones you pray about that God just let them favor me. But they are the silent majority. They can go either way. They are those that may follow the critics. They might follow your cheerleaders. They may or may not follow any of these ones. They are just right in the middle. But you need to identify them. So I know I've shared a couple stories, and I hope that these stories will help you in navigating office politics because it's really critical that you do. So so those are the key players you need to have. Now, I want us to then talk about the other relationships in the office, in the workplace setting. We have peers, I've mentioned that. With these people, you collaborate with them, but don't overshare. People have asked me several times, is it good to have friends in the office? It's largely maybe not. If you find that one person that you've tried and tested several times to be on your side any day, as in like your friends outside of the office, and you're able to share stuff with them, but still, I would say limit that to one or two people, maybe just one. Your peers, you collaborate with them, work with them, identify the kind of colleagues they have, but don't overshare, don't share your personal stuff with them because believe me, one day you will hear it somewhere else. Your subordinates are people that work under you. They are the people that you lead, that you manage. You earn their respect. Don't demand it. You have to earn it. You can't say, oh, they've brought me to this team now. You do this. You no, 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 no. You've got to earn their respect. And you know the fastest way to earn respect of people is by knowing your job. I've had line managers that did not know their job. And it took me a long time to respect them because I'm like, you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. Like you don't have a clue. And you still be forming like you know. So it took me such a long time to respect people like that. And now as a manager myself and one in a senior position, I'm always very mindful that I am earning the respect of my people. I am not demanding it, and I'm earning my respect by understanding, by having a vision for my team, by helping them to navigate, by helping them to grow, by being mindful of what they are going through in their life, and ensuring that I create a work environment that they can thrive and flourish and be their best, where I tell them the truth, not that I am condescending to them or I am I just want to make them feel, but I really just want them to grow. I'm earning their respect that way. So the days I need them to jump high, they will be telling me, TJ, how high do you want me to jump? because I've earned their respect. I'm not demanding it. I am not just legislating. I'm not just dictating. No, I am collaborating. We are doing this together. If you have to stay late, then I have to stay late with you. Not that you have to stay late, then I have to go home. And like how? Why would your team be in the office and you have to go home? Except there's a family emergency. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. The days you then have to go and leave them, they will be the one to tell you, actually, so you can go. We're going to stay here. You'll be like, no, let's do this again. No, 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 you've passed this level. You go, we'll give you feedback. By the time you get home, we'll call you. You've earned their respect. So when dealing with subordinates, don't demand respect. Earn it. For your line managers, understand the pressures. It's not easy to be a manager. If you're a manager here, I know I see some of my friends on this call. It's not easy to be managers. The pressure is a lot. One of the things I learned early in my career is that line managers have pressure. It's a lot that manage the CEO, the founders, if you are working in a startup, the investors are asking them for everything, asking them to perform magic. On like the pressure is a lot. As someone that reports to a line manager, understand that this person has pressure. Sometimes they're not able to manage the pressure, and so it spills. And so it appears that they're brash, they're harsh, they're very tough, their deadlines are so tight. It's because it's coming from somewhere. All of them are not like that. Some people just have problems and they just like to work. Let me just say that. But most times, in terms of like great people, the pressure, the line managers have pressure. So if you're reporting to your line manager, understand that they have pressure. Try and solve their pain point. I tell people when I coach, I like, what value are you adding to this person? If you have a line manager that struggles with Excel, they don't know how to use Excel or data is an issue, why not go and learn how to do Excel very well? They can do every other thing, but when it comes to Excel, numbers or it can be presentation. They know the knowledge, but they are not able to convert it to slides. Why not go and learn how to do Canva? Learn how to use Canva, learn how to use PowerPoint, learn how to use key points. If you're using a MacBook, why not just go and be that solution to their pain point, so that they do the work, you are able to present the work in an appealing way. That guy will always know that no matter what this girl is doing, she's not leaving my side. Say, this one is we are together. People like that, when they go to another organization, they will ask you, yeah, follow me, because they see your value. But you have to go through the pain of learning something maybe outside of your comfort zone to be able to be valuable to your line managers. And sometimes you do that, they will not even see your value. Don't forget what I said earlier. Understand who you are, stand in your identity. You learned that thing. Yes, it might be for them because of the situation at the time, but you've learned it for yourself. So even if they don't value it, believe me, one day you get to a place that skill you learned will be valued by somebody else and they will pay for that skill. Whatever you learn is for yourself first, and then use it for the environment, for the situation at hand. But in this context, understand the pressure of your line manager. Be valuable to them. When you are valuable to them, they will see you as extremely valuable. When it's time to advocate for promotion, when it's time to advocate for opportunities, the normal line managers they will not pass you by, and you will quickly advance in your career. Senior executives speak their language, so you start to relate with the board of directors. You don't go for board meetings and be speaking anyhow. You speak with numbers, you speak with data, you speak with results, and not just come with the problems. You can't have what's the word now? You can't have a presentation with the executive management, and all that is on your presentation is, oh, we're having issues with this, we're having challenges with this, we're having challenges, and they'll be like, okay, so did you bring your challenges to us for us to help you solve? Like, how? What are we supposed to do with all of this? You will never be seen as someone serious. When you're speaking with senior executives, I tell people that report to me, and they know not to do this. You come to me with a problem, and I'll be like, oh, really? Okay. I'll be waiting to hear what are your options, your solution options, because you can't come to me with just a problem. No. If it's only the problem you have, you still have some thinking to do. And I jokingly would tell them, someone did this to me, so I do it a lot to people. And when they finish talking, I'll be like, oh, okay, that sounds like a Tolu problem, not a TJ problem. And they'll be looking at me like, so what do you want us to do? Me? No, I don't know. What do you think we should do? I'll ask the question back. So what do you think we should do? And then they will be forced to think. I'm forced to think. I'm like, you know what? Go and take 10 minutes. Go think about it and come back to me. Because senior executives don't have time. If you want to be perceived as valuable, if you want to be perceived as serious, if you want to be perceived as someone that adds to the bottom line, you don't come with only problems, you come with solutions. So speak their language, have data. If there's a problem, they'll tell you why do you think there's a problem. You have to quote data. 70% of that, 20% of that. Oh, based on my interactions with staff members, these are the issues that have come up over the last check-in sessions I've had over the past quarter, and because of that, I've come up with this solution, this solution, this solution. I don't know which one resonates with you the most. Please, I would like to have your thoughts. Now you're speaking their language. Very, very important. For example, because I worked briefly in the UK, directness is very valued in the UK. They like people to speak up. You need to understand all of these things. The culture in the United Kingdom, they like you to speak up. What is the problem? Speak up. Don't just sit down and cower. Speak up. But in Nigeria, you have to be wise about it. Hierarchy matters. It's just now that we have tech that everybody has a flat structure. Before tech, before the influx of fintechs and insurtechs and all the techs, edutech, there was hierarchy. You can't just talk to people anyhow. You can't just put your hand up in a meeting. You have to read the room. Don't be the first person to speak. Hierarchy matters. You also, as in, you have to read the room as well. In all of this, in dealing with your peers, your subordinates, line managers, especially senior executives and line managers, always read the room. It doesn't mean you should keep quiet, but always read the room. All right. Now, the power of presentation. If you've identified the type of colleagues you have, you've identified who your mentors are, you've identified who your critics, you already understand the power dynamic. There are some other things you need to do to appear. There's some other things you need to do to just make yourself a bit more valuable to the organization. And then you'll be highlighted as a valuable person. You'll be highlighted as someone that, this person's career is right on track. Presentation is really critical. I'm rounding up my presentation now. Anyways, presentation is critical. Dressing, speaking, soft skills. You have to dress well. You have to. You can't be shabby in your dressing. In office policy, don't forget when I said that is how people perceive you and how you perceive people. Know the culture, know what to wear, know what not to wear. It's really critical. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it has to be clean, it has to be sharp. Dress well. Speak well. Don't use slangs all the time. Practice your speaking. It takes practice. Practice with your friends. Work on your local accent. Some people have Igbo accent. Some have Yoruba accent. Some have whatever. These things matter. It does. And you'll be like, no, I was born that way. You can work on it. Don't smell bad. Smell well. Don't go there and be behaving anyhow. Have some composure. These things, they do matter. It's not just your technical skills that will advance your career. If you think it's just your technical skills, that's foolishness. Dress well, speak well, have emotional intelligence, and of course, your technical skills, they do matter in the long run. But I tell people, your technical skills is the what you want to do. I want to create a financial statement. I want to be an accountant. I want to do this. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to communicate. Yeah, that's what you want to do. The soft skills, the emotional intelligence is how you want to do it. You want to just go doing anyhow, speaking anyhow, demanding respect, shouting on people, climbing on people's backs just for you to move forward. No. How you want to do it is the culture. is the emotional quotient. Very, very critical. Dressing well, speaking well, it goes a long way, a whole long way. I know people that will not take some staff members on meetings with them because they have body odor. And as an HR person, I've had to give feedback on body odor a, a number of times. And no one will want to do it. They'll just come to me and say, TJ, this guy smells bad. Of course, then the onus is on me to go and say, guy, you smell bad. And I can give you that feedback anytime because, hey, I need you to do well. So I'll be like, bros, I bought you some stuff, perfume and stuff. Please don't try and have your bath twice a day. Like I've had to have very uncomfortable conversations on dressing, on smelling. Some is mouth odor, some is body odor. Try and get feedback from your friends. Make sure you don't smell bad. Ask them for feedback about your dressing. Dress smart. Appear well. It's very important. Now, in speaking in meetings, try and speak up at meetings. Some people don't like to, they're shy generally. Naturally, they're shy. But it's very important that you are seen. It's not just what you do on your laptop, in your small corner, in the office that matters. People need to perceive you. So when you have meetings, don't go to meetings and be silent all the time. You have maybe 3 meetings or 4 meetings in a month or 3 meetings in a week and you don't speak up at all in any of those meetings. That's not good enough. In navigating office politics, you need to be able to speak up. People need to know what you do because someone else will take your glory. I'm not saying you should be proud. I'm not saying you should brag so much. But when it's time to be seen, be seen. So how do you sort out meetings? Prepare at least 1 point per meeting. Speak early. Don't hesitate. Don't let your inner voice don't let your inner voice tell you not to speak up. Just be sure about what you want to say. Know your audience. Leverage body language. Read the room. Know when to speak and when not to speak. Be clear and concise. Don't ramble. Practice it. Okay, if I want to ask a question. So people will first say like 5 lines before they ask a question. As in, just go to your question. Be clear and concise. Use I statements. I believe. I want to see this. I am curious to know. I would like you to please explain this better for me. Don't generalize statements. Use the I statement. Frame ideas as solutions, not criticism. So someone spoke about something and be like, no, I don't think that is right. No, don't do that. Don't criticize people openly like that because public criticism is painful. Imagine you're the one on the other side. How would you feel? So if what the person says in your opinion does not make sense, you just be like, I have a bit of a different approach to this. I believe if we go this approach, we would achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although this person said this is their approach, but I would like us to consider this approach I'm talking about. We've said the same thing, but I used a bit of emotional intelligence to say it. Be respectful of other people's input. Anticipate questions, especially if you're the one leading the meeting. So you're presenting. Anticipate the questions that your audience might have for you. Don't stay completely silent in meetings. It's not good, especially over a consistent period of time. Nah, don't do that. Be heard and be seen. Don't dominate a meeting and only you're talking, you're speaking too fast, you're talking, just you. It's just you we're hearing from. No, don't attack other people's character. Oh, you can be very lazy. Oh, you are so this. Don't do that, especially publicly. And don't say, if they ask you a question, don't say you don't know. Don't say you don't know. You can say, I don't have this information at this time, but I'll come back to you in 24 hours. I'll send you an email on that. Or I'm not sure I understand what you're asking, but let me go do some more research. But again, don't forget you're supposed to prepare for your meetings. But even when you are blindsided by a question, don't say, I don't know, and then you sit down. No, don't ever say that. After this meeting that we've had today, don't say that again. Just say, I don't know this now. I don't have this information now. I'll get back to you and get back to them. All right. On gossip and rumors, listen more talk less, never be the source of rumors. Avoid participation as much as you can. Don't pick sides. Promote a positive work environment. Stay away from people that just love to gossip. Believe me, one day you will thank me for this thing I'm telling you. The gossip might be sweet. You can be like, are you serious? That's what they say. Are you sure? It can be sweet, but believe me, it will bite you. Stay away from people. There's some people that they are rumor mongers, they are gossipers. Stay away from them. When they come to you, walk away. Just say, no, no, no. Just form phone call. I always form phone call. Hello, hello, hello. I've walked away. I'm not even interested. Or I will leave the DM unanswered because I don't have time. Stay away from gossipers. If gossiped about, ignore it. If you can't ignore it, address it privately with the person. Maybe you heard it from this person or whatnot. That has happened to me before, and I've had to address it. Address it, not emotionally, but address it. A false rumor can cost you or anyone else dearly. So be really careful about all these gists and all these rumors. It's better to stay away because it usually backfires. And believe me, your senior colleagues are looking and they know. You'll be surprised at what they know or they don't say. And when conversations are being had in terms of promotions, these things come up. I've been in rooms where these things come up and they'll be like, oh, that's how she was saying this about this person. They thought we didn't hear. And that's it. They will keep you on that level for another 1 year. You have to be very careful. Office friendships, I've kind of talked about this. Pros, it's good to have office friendship support system. Sometimes you have insider knowledge. Imagine you are the friend to the EA of your CEO. You have some insider knowledge. Cons is that it might bite you when you share personal things with them, and boundaries are blurred. You're not able to say no as firmly as you can to your friend. Those things matter. So be careful. Be friendly, but don't trust blindly. Office friends may rat you out and spread your gist. So be very careful. See this picture? I found it online. He's a friend, but has a knife at the back. I'm sure some of us have been knifed before. And it can be very painful. So be careful. Now, I'm closing now. 3 golden rules to master office politics. Build alliances before you need them. Stay neutral in conflict if possible, and when possible, always protect your reputation, protect your technical skills, protect your emotional skills. That's your brand, that's who you are. Protect your reputation. Don't allow anybody or anything to taint it, and stand for yourself as much as possible. In conclusion, office politics isn't evil, it's human nature, your choice. Ignore it and stay stuck, master it and rise. This brings me to the end of my presentation today. Thank you so much.
Wow, this remind me. Let me just tell my story about my when it comes to office politics. I think my line manager was the CEO for this particular
Mm,
organization I was working for, and I'm this person that when she gives me a job,
mm,
immediately I'm delivering. I don't take time in in delivering that job. So immediately I'm always active. So it got to a
right.
point she was like, God's gift, it's time to increase your salary. So she was the one I would advise that I send an email and so I think it goes a long way when it comes to, saying being productive, being active, being proactive, ensuring that your line manager sees you as someone that is reliable and is competent and is ready to learn. I think it goes a long way. So thank you so much, TJ, for this session. It has been an eye-opening one. I can see my story inside everything you were saying. All right.
Mm.
So thank you so much. I think it's time for questions. So James, you can unmute your mic and ask a question.
Okay. All right. Good evening, man. Good evening,
Good evening.
everyone.
How you?
And thank you. I'm good. Thank you for this opportunity. I feel I'm blessed by what I've heard this evening. So my question is,
Mm,
if you have a line manager who doesn't care about his subordinate, like his how will I call it? Uh people who are under him, who doesn't care about what they say, who doesn't care about what they see. How can you create a friendly relationship between you and that line manager?
Okay, my first question is back to you. Again, don't forget that I asked my questions back. My first question is, what does the person care about? If the person doesn't care about the people, is there something that the person cares about? Is it the work? Is the
He
person
cares
focused on
about,
work? What does the person care about?
yeah, he focus on work. If he cares
So you
about
said,
that he focus on work. So he
hmm,
just care about whatever opinion he have is the final. So he doesn't care what you, the subordinate, have to say.
oh, is that kind of person? Okay, so two things. The
Yes,
first
ma'am.
is I need you to be better at your job. If he cares about the work and the quality of your work is superb, he will care about you at some point. It might not be immediate, but he will care about you at some point. So I need you or whoever has that kind of line manager to be very superb at their work. And don't forget, the process of being superb at your work, it will cost you. Times you're supposed to go out and chill with your friends, you're here studying, reading, doing stuff, taking courses online, blah, blah, blah. But you're doing it for yourself first. You're getting better. You're increasing your own technical skills. Your line manager, if the person truly cares about the quality of work, would see and know that you're a reliable person when it comes to this work. That's number one. Number two, you then need to get another person on your line manager's level that is an advocate, another departmental head, another line manager, maybe close to you. I don't know what department you work. Maybe you're in accounting or whatnot. This person can be in maybe procurement or even human resources. Someone else that is a peer to your line manager or a little bit higher, not lower, a peer or a little bit higher that is an advocate or a mentor. Remember the story I shared about the lady that was a critique that turned out to be my mentor? She was a bit higher than my line manager at the time. And she was able to help advocate even times when my line manager did not see the good in what I was doing. Do you understand? So get someone like that
Yes, ma'am.
and have the person be your mentor. It doesn't have to be a friendly relationship. Let's be clear. You don't have to be friends with anybody. But when you can say, I want you to mentor me, I want you to show me this is my career path, what courses should I take? This person, you become the person's protege. Even when your line manager cannot speak for you. When conversations are being had on promotions, they'll be like, no, 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 I know that guy. No, I know him, I've seen him, I hear about him, blah, blah, blah. They are advocating for you behind your back because your line manager can't. I hope that's clear.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Peter, you can unmute your mic and ask a question.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
So this is an awesome presentation this evening. Actually, I joined lately, but at the very point I joined, I think I was able to learn one or two things. The question I would like to ask is on the office politics that we are talking about. For instance, you are in an organization, you are a new employee, let me just put it that way, and they have a general meeting on how to develop that organization.
Mm,
But the question put forward on the idea on how to develop the organization, but it is something you have applied or in your previous place of work before you join that new organization. And when they ask such question, being an experienced person and you are a new person, is it good for you to just stand up and tell them the solution or the idea that can help them develop that organization? Is it an ideal way of approaching such issue in a place you are a new person or a new employee?
mm. All right. Thank you very much for that question. Yes, it is a good idea. However, with caution. Read the room. Um, Do you want to do this publicly? Maybe not. You might want to talk to one person, maybe your line manager at this new organization. You might want to just expose and say, oh, you guys were talking about this in the meeting where I worked before. This was the situation. This was what we did, and this was our result. Do you think it can work here? If this came up at a meeting where everybody's sitting and everybody's brainstorming, you can stand up and say, sorry, I have a, oh, sorry. Raise up and say, excuse me, I have a contribution. I used to work at so place. We were focused on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had these issues. This was the approach we employed, and this was the result it gave us. These were the challenges we had, but this was the result it gave us. You can also speak like that depending on the situation. But yes, please speak up because you're trying to help. That you're new does not mean that you don't have the right to speak. And I want you to know that you should speak up, but do it in a way, read the room. If you want to do it publicly, you want to do it privately, whichever way, read the room, but still speak up. That would be my answer. I hope I've answered your question.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Mary, you can unmute your mic and ask the question.
All right, good evening, everyone, and good evening, TJ, and well done. Thank you for the presentation. So, basically, the question I'm about to ask might not have anything to do with me, but while you're talking, while you're presenting, I can relate with a lot of things. And this person's, just drop, in my mind, and I said, okay, I'm gonna ask. Now, if you find yourself in an organization where you have a lot of expatriates working, so different race, let me put it that way, and there is this colleague of yours who is, should I say, fantastic at his job also, has really been doing well. However, the line manager feels he needs to do more and give him time frame to work on some things, and the guy was able to do it. But when there is need for artwork being showcased, it's never called. Rather, other people will be called to showcase things that are linked to his own subject or what he's doing. So by the way, teaching profession, so basically, so that you can relate with what I'm saying. So he's never called. Now, at the point where you were explaining, talking to people about their body odor, mouth odor, and I said, come on, could this be like a good reason why this is happening? Why this girl has not been allowed to, have this chance to be able to communicate with parents, to be able to communicate with, people they're expecting to join the organization and all of that, just to showcase his work. He has really worked himself. He earned the place. However, each time, something is up for artwork to being showcased, he's been made redundant. He's been made as if he's not valuable to that organization. So in my head, what could be the reason? He has met up with his target. He has, done the needful just to ensure that, okay, my line manager sees something good in me. And up until this moment, as I'm talking to you, something happened at work today because we had to go to work today and he was not called. He was meant to be there. It's something that has to do with culture, to do with arts, creativity. That's his line. He was not called to come. He was told not to bother.
Whoa.
Do you understand? That's like a blow. And this has been going on, and he's a bit confused. He doesn't know what to do. But while in this, because one thing I've learned, sometimes you listen to some presentation, you join some things, it might not necessarily be for you. There might be a message going out for someone. So I really want to ask, is there something you could do? Yes, I notice he has body odor. I'm blonde. I'm the type that always tell people stuff. But I don't know what happened. I just didn't bother. And I just mind my business. But however, you make saying something relating to that this evening is giving me, could this be a reason?
All
So
right.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think he needs help, and
Are,
I
are
don't know if
you
I can get.
are you a peer to this person? Are you senior to him or junior, or you're peers?
Well, peers. Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do some work. And if you're already feeling this way, maybe it is for a reason. Not maybe, it is for a reason. And two things I want you to do. You've already identified that he has body odor. You're gonna have to have that conversation with him. And these conversations are not the easiest, but they're also kind of easy. Okay, I say it's
Yeah.
easy because I've done it several
I've
times.
done it before.
Yeah. So, and the best way to do this thing is to cut right through it and say, guy,
Yeah.
you have body odor. Like, that's the best way to start with. Don't sugarcoat it and say, my friend, you're already hesitating in your mind. Just call him. Yeah, it's true. So you just say, guy, I want to talk to you. You go outside, you go somewhere that people cannot hear. And
Yeah.
put your hand on his shoulder, look into his eyes, and say, my guy, you have body. But yeah, that's what you're gonna do. And then he'll be like, and you'll be like, it's bad gone. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to go and buy deodorant. You have one in the office, you have one in your car. If he has a car, you have several in your house. You will have different, like you then come up with a plan and say, we will do this together. But we need to do it very fast. When you come, maybe if he doesn't have a car, he's coming back, he's coming into the office, go first to the toilet, clean your armpits with, always have something like a damp towel or
Yeah.
wipes, all those
Wipes. Yeah.
that smell, always have it in your bag, clean your armpits, wash down there. Do you need to shave? You literally would do that for him. So that's the first thing. The second that might be a bit challenging is to have, if you have a good relationship with the decision makers, have a conversation about him with them and say, I really just want to know why this is happening so that we can deal with it and help him.
Okay. So
If you have a good relationship, but you have to be
yeah.
his advocate. You have to be his advocate there because nobody will do it for him and he can't do it himself.
Okay.
So and again, this brings me to, you can, everyone here, you can be an advocate for someone that is being
Someone.
overlooked.
Yeah.
Don't feel like it's not affecting me, so it's just my career I'm after. One
Exactly.
day, this person that you advocated for might be the key to something else in the future for you. Just be an
Okay.
overall good person and an advocate for people. One
Okay.
day somebody will do that for you. But you need to be challenged. You need to be courageous. You need to be bold and be ready to have that conversation with your superiors.
So
Yeah. Those are the two things I would say.
okay. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Welcome. You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Precious, you can unmute your mic.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good
Lovely
evening.
presentation. You basically said everything I was going to say with regards to Mary's question. Advocating, I've been in situations like that. I currently occupy a lead position in my office, and before I got there, I was basically labeled office defender, basically because I was always standing up for people. Like, I have a habit of just walking up to the CEO. I'm like, yo, this and this are going on, and I don't think it's right.
I like it.
And I was always speaking up for people. And because of, I feel greatly that I was made a lead basically because of that. Primarily because of that. Because even before I became a lead, I was always being called to make decisions pertaining to people's employment and promotions.
That's
So
good.
it helps a lot to speak up for your colleagues. It helps a lot to speak up for subordinates. It helps a lot to sometimes be ready to challenge and be ready to whatever will happen will happen. Whatever was the worst that will happen, I'll be fired. That's the worst that will happen. But they know that Precious will speak up when she's not comfortable. At least now everyone knows that once I raise my hand in an office, precious, what do you have? Right? But I've earned that position where I can sit and have conversations with decision makers because they know I'm not doing it because of whatever benefit I'll get from it.
Got it.
I genuinely will speak up against what is not right, whether it's being done to me or it's being done to the least in the office, as little as the office assistants, the errand people that run errands, right? Speak up for people like those. Another thing I was going to state about the person, it may not be a case of he has body odor. It may not be a case of genuine bullying. It could just be a case of you don't present yourself well, so I don't find you presentable. It's a thing of confidence. So I've had to manage interns at some point, and one of the things I would tell interns is you need to sell your market to me. You are your market. Sell yourself to me. If you do not present yourself as valuable, I do not consider you when I'm looking for valuable people.
Right.
Same thing my CEO says, if you have not presented yourself as dependable, I will not look for you when I'm looking for people I can depend on. It doesn't mean that I don't like you or I just oversee you. You're not important. You've just not presented yourself as the person worthy for that position. So whenever companies look for people to push out public-facing people that interact with clients, that interact with high stakeholders, they're looking for people that give them the best possible look. So if you are not looking, it's not even about you can dress well, you can speak well, you can smell well, but you lack the confidence to sell that market, they would not pick you. So it's not just about it goes beyond knowing your skill, your tech, it goes beyond dressing well, it goes beyond smelling well, speaking well. You also need to know how to sell yourself. Right. So those are just my contributions. Thank you.
So good. So good. I totally agree with that. Thank you for adding that. Thank you, Precious. All right.
Okay, I think that's the last question. I don't know if anyone have any question to ask.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Good
So
evening,
okay.
Good evening. I just have one
yeah.
How do you deal in an environment where now not your peers, right? Not your peers, not your subordinates, but now your leaders. Some people are just actually very competitive, very, very competitive. Even with those those junior to them at the office or anything, they see that you're doing something and they just feel that this person is achieving this. I have to. So it's basically seeing someone always in competition with you. So I'm one person who has experienced that at my former office where I used to work, and sometimes it just comes up in my face. And how would you advise a person to navigate in that kind of situation where your seniors are actually the ones in competition with you? And it's kind of like these are the people preventing you from, getting to a position that you look up to. How would you deal with that kind of situation?
Thank you for that. That's a tough one. But I've been there before. And how did I navigate it? I tried two things. The first thing I tried to do is not strike a friendship with these competitors because, again, they're very competitive. I try to align what they are competing about with how I can be valuable to their competitive spirit. I don't know if I'm articulating myself well. So if they are competitive and whatever you're doing, they want to do it more and do it better, or even make you look like you're doing too much, because that can also be another way of letting them just reduce your shine a little bit. Don't fall into that trap. But try to identify. See, I've learned in life that everybody has an agenda. You need to identify people's agenda and play along with that agenda. I mentioned that my other mentor, before she was a mentor, she was very egoistic, and she's still till today. But I just knew that I knew what she wanted, the respect, the command of the room and everything, and I aligned myself to that. Not as a people pleaser, but I aligned myself to that. So even the people that are competitive, they have an agenda. There's a reason why they're like that. Know their pain point and find a way to work with them. because they are your line managers and they're above you, they're superior. There's so much that you can do. Again, they control some of these things. They control promotion conversations. So you can't go all out fighting and say, why are you competing with me? No, that's not the wise way. Know their pain point and align. The second thing I would say, in short, I would actually ask, do you have an advocate that is their peer, or a mentor or a guide that is on that same person's level? Do you have at all in your office? I don't know who is this person. We all both.
Well, great one, yes.
Yeah.
So I would say one I'm very certain about is a mentor that's just a step below them, but also a person that is able to stand up and also speak on my behalf and be able to make decisions when the need arises. So that person basically just covers when that person
Got
is
it.
there. Yes.
Got
But
it.
it's just a
And as
step
this,
below that
and
person.
has this person been in that organization for long?
Yes.
Maybe you should ask them how you can navigate working with this competitive person.
Okay.
Maybe you can ask them on how to navigate. The other thought that came to my mind is, whatever you want to do, get their buy-in. I once had a line manager that she was a COO. She didn't know HR as much. She was a finance person, purely finance. And because she became COO, HR, human resource department, was within our purview. And she didn't know HR. It was very tough. She didn't know it, but she had to, she was in charge of me. I struggled with that relationship. And when I have to do stuff that is HR related, I have to do it. So meetings that typically I would not be in, I had to be there because she does not really know HR. She can't present my slides for me. She doesn't know me. And because of that exposure, it was rubbing her the wrong way. What I had to do was I had to be patient enough to find a way to teach her what I was doing and make my project a project. So if, for example, we want to do performance appraisal, I will schedule a meeting with her and say, oh, it is time for us to do performance. She's not going to do it though. We have to do performance appraisal. Then I will now go and sit her down. So for performance appraisal, this is the process. This is what we're supposed to do. And I will painstakingly, it's like teaching an adult something. It's so hard. I'll painstakingly do that and ask her for advice. What do we do here? How do we go here? But I know the answer, but I'll still be asking her. She will even use me to play. She will say, let me ask my other HR colleagues that are senior to me. I will accept it. I'll say ask them. She will ask them, what not. She will come back and say, hey, my colleague said we should do it that way. I will allow her to go left and right and center, but we are still coming back to what I want to do. But I've made that project a project. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
You have to make what you want to do, make it theirs. They will carry it on their head because they feel it's their own. And that's how sometimes I've dealt with competitive people. Know their pain point, look for a peer that kind of understands them, has been in the organization for too long, and ask for how to navigate that relationship. Get their buy-in in your project, make your project their project. It will reduce the rivalry, sort of. I hope I've been able to help.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're taking one more question, just this last question, then we'll be done for today, please.
Nice.
Hi,
Thank
Oscar.
you.
You can unmute your mic and ask a question.
Okay, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Okay, please, I want to ask, how will you manage a situation that you are reporting to your line manager, but on a long run, the other people that are superior to him, they normally request for your report, like when you are making a report to your line manager, they seek for you to copy them. But at the point you started having some political issues with your line manager, and your line manager now say, stop adding these people while you are making your reports. Stop copying them. So at this point now, how will you manage such a situation? Will you listen to your line manager, or will you go ahead because these people are they are superior to him and they are always interested in your reporting? So how will you manage such situation?
Ah. This is so funny because I was having a conversation with a friend some weeks ago, and she was in this dilemma. I believe by the time my friend is even on this call, well, I will not call her. These are tough situations. Okay, there are peculiarities to these things. I want you to understand that not one template works for different organizations. I don't know how your organization is and the power dynamics, but I would say if the superiors want something, then you give them what they want. If the superiors want something, give them what they want. But I would say that with the caveat. You need to have an advocate that you know, or a mentor that is one of those superiors. Because if push comes to shove, you are not in the room, because this person is your line manager, this person has the authority sort of to speak for you and against you. And even though there are superiors there, they may not be able to do anything like that. But if you have an advocate in one of them that can put his foot down and say, oh, even though this person's line manager is saying something negative, no, we've seen his report, this is somebody we like, and so we are going to push this person forward. I don't know what the situation, I'm just using this as an example. But when it comes to dynamics, the people that are superior to your boss are superior, and they are there for a reason. You might need some guidance here and there to figure out how to navigate it. Maybe have a conversation with one of them to say, oh, how do I navigate this situation? Again, be wise about whoever you are sharing this with, but the person has to be one of your line manager superiors and say, oh, he's not really keen to me copying you guys in this report. Is there, because there might be issues that you're not aware of. There might be issues happening above your pay grade. The two of them might be fighting on something else entirely. You are just the grass. The two elephants are fighting. So they will now pick your own reports. Unfortunately, it's now you that are going to be the one. No, don't do this. Do this. You are now turning between. So you may not know what the situation is. It might be great to find out if there is something else happening and you are just a byproduct of the fight, so that you know how to align yourself. But if I'm going to say anything in terms of a template answer, those superiors to your line manager are those that you follow. Number one. Number two, look for someone that you can speak to on how to navigate this relationship, because there might be issues that are outside your purview that you are not aware of. See, things happen, you only see the byproduct of it. You don't know what is happening at the back end. So it would be great to get some exposure into what is happening at the back end, because it might now seem, when you now understand the situation that is happening, it might be like you might need to align with your line manager. You don't even know. The final decision maker, the one that wields the power in the organization, is one you want to make sure that you are not offending and you are aligning with. And if they really want, if there is no issue and they are just sincerely interested in your work, like there's no power tussle anywhere, there is no fight anywhere, they are just interested in your report. Maybe it's just wonderful report, or you have a good writing, there's a quality that they like, or they just want to be aware of what is happening. You can speak to them to ask for the report from your line manager, not from you. Because if there's no problem and I really just want to know what somebody else's subordinate is doing, I will speak with my own peer or speak with the line manager and say, oh, this report that comes from your department, I see you guys present it at the meetings. Can I have a copy? It might be useful for me, or I'm doing a course and I feel like this report feeds into what I'm doing. Ask the line manager, why are you making me a problem? So you can also make that request to say, oh, sir, I know you're always interested in this report. Can you please ask my line manager? And he or she will be able to share it again after you found out if they are part or who's at the back end or whatnot. But that's how it's a very tough situation to be in, and there is no one answer that fits all. But try and get some more context to know what exactly is happening. That's what I would say. I hope I've been able to help you.
Thank you so much. This is so helpful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, TJ, for your time, for taking out time from your busy schedule to attend to us. It has been a powerful session, an insightful one. I believe all we have learned today will definitely take it back home to execute on them. On behalf of Career Leap, we're saying a huge and a big thank you for your time. Really appreciate your time, and thank you everyone, of course, for joining and of course listening. The recording is going to be available by Monday, so for those that missed this session, they will definitely or you want to go back to it, right? It will be sent to everyone. So once again, thank you, and thank you so much. All right, this is the last session. I don't know, TJ, do you have any last thoughts? Maybe something to just make us sleep well this.
I think that if anything, I found that in navigating office politics or just navigating your career in the corporate setting, your identity is very important. You have to know yourself. And I liked what I think was Precious. She said she's an advocate. She knows herself. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you carry. You have to know who you are. You are not what you do. You are not your job. That's not your identity, by the way. Your identity has to be outside of your job, your marriage, your your relationships, your church, your mosque, whatever. There's an identity outside of that. Those other things do speak to who you are, or you express yourself through those other channels, but really try to know who you are, because doubt would come. Line managers will doubt you. Your subordinates will disrespect you. Some people will gossip about you. Rumors will go around about you in the office. It's going to happen. Some people will not like you just for no reason. You can't allow that to affect you. And the only way you can't allow that to affect you is to know who you are, know what you stand for, know what your strengths are, what areas you're working on, and just stand in your light and just know yourself. It will help you stand well. You will not be a people pleaser, and you will not also be too harsh. You will not be demanding things that you're supposed to be earning. You would stand well. So identity is very important. If you don't know who you are yet, in terms of what am I here to do, what are my values, who am I outside of this job, who am I outside of all of these things, try and go find it. It will help you. I've found people that really are sure of themselves. They're self-aware of even their weaknesses and their strengths. They're self-aware of who they are. I found them to be very great in navigating relationships and advancing their career very speedily. So I think I'll leave you guys with that. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much once again for your time. Really appreciate. So for everyone, thank you once again. This is the from the end of this session, of course, and then we hope to see you again in another session, maybe in the nearest future. All right. So for those interested in the Career Leap School Tech Accelerator Program scholarship, you can simply reach out to any of our representative or admin in our community to get your process started. Slot is filling up very, very fast. We only need 100 students for our Tech Accelerator program. All right, so happy weekend and have a great Sunday. Bye-bye.